from Flint Town. And my question is because things that are extraterrestrial fall from the sky and no one knows what all of these elements are, how can you say that these things normally aren't or could not be radioactive when we don't know what the heck is falling out there and what type of radiation exists from one stratosphere to the next? I'm questioning how would we or how would you know this right here? How come or why can't any of these things be radioactive and become a radioactive meteorite? That's my question.
Interesting question, D. I appreciate the call. What about that, Mr. Humphrey?
Dee, that is an excellent question. I'm happy you did that. I'm happy you asked that. And what we have to go off, the reason why I'm so confident, again, I'm not saying 100% that if there are any meteorites that they're not radioactive, there is always that chance. But likely from history, and this is the wonderful thing about science and engineering and the study of astronomy and astrophysics, there are meteorites that have landed on Earth in the recent past, whether it's in the United States or outside the United States, that are literally on display just behind glass right now, or actually large enough where you can actually touch them. That's why I mentioned places like the Michigan Science Center and also Cranbrook Institute of Science or the Air and Space Museum, if you're lucky enough to visit that in Washington, D.C. These are many places where they actually have meteorites actually on display. And what my friends and colleagues who are also meteorologists, also planetary scientists and space scientists who study in depth meteors and asteroids on a regular basis, they understand what the composition of these objects that come from space actually are. And the history of these objects, once they land here on Earth, it's known that 9 times out of 10, it's likely these meteorites are composed of basically harmless elements, simply iron and nickel mostly.
I'm not going to keep you any longer, Mr. Humphrey, but please tell us how folks can contact you or get more fascinating information about this meteor or any other meteorological info that you want to share.
Sure thing, D. I'm sorry, sir. Sure thing, Cliff. If I'm not lucky enough to on your show, Cliff, when you call me or if I call in, you can always catch me at WDIV on Channel 4, right in downtown Detroit. Also, click on Detroit.com, and I've got my own website, AndrewHumphrey.com. And ladies and gentlemen, if you go to AndrewHumphrey.com, you can always get my phone number. You can also connect with me on social media. My links to Facebook and especially my Twitter account and Instagram accounts, they're right there to stay in touch directly.
All right. Andrew, as always, I appreciate our conversations. I feel like I'm a smarter person after I talk to you, and I need all of that I can get. So thank you very much. And I'm not going to wait for the next media to call you. I'm sure we'll find something else to talk about.
Well, Cliff, right back at you. Look forward to talking to you again very soon. Always happy to help. Always happy to talk to Detroit one way or another. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Detroit.
Thank you. Andrew Humphrey, outstanding meteorologist, good brother at WDIV Channel 4, and we appreciate that. I said it at the top of the show, and I still laugh at it. Something this unique, something this incredible happens in Southeast Michigan. I don't recall it happening ever in my lifetime here in Southeast Michigan, and, of course, I'm out of town. And so those of you who are here, you can still tell me about it. We got a few more minutes, not a lot of time, but a few more minutes before we get out of here this afternoon. Our number is 313-778-7600. That is 313-778-7600. And before I go, I want to say this. Some people think that I will talk about Donald Trump and his racism and what he's doing and his attack on democracy out of hate, because I hate the Republicans or hate Donald Trump. And the absolute opposite is true. I am so alarmed about this because of love. The love I have for my fellow man. The love I have for our people. The love I have for our country. The love I have for democracy, for fairness, for righteousness. Those are the things that motivate me to talk about Donald Trump and to be alarmed by a Donald Trump. Because what he does and what he says is the antithesis of the things that I believe are good for people and for this country. And on that basis, I will continue to bring up these issues and talk about them on this show. And I hope that you'll join me, too. Our number is 313-778-7600. I hope you'll call that number at any time when you have something that you need to share. There are some of us, and I've told you before, I'm 61 years old. So I was born in 56. I came up through the 60s and 70s and got married, at the end of the 70s and throughout the 80s and what have you, raised my family, raised kids, and eventually became an older man. But having grown up at the time that I grew up, I saw an era in this country when words like brotherhood and brotherly love and cooperation, they were used frequently in the public discourse and in conversation. And the ideal of people respecting one another was a real one. I'm still a student of the Kingian, Martin Luther King Jr., the Kingian philosophy of love your brother, and that we can find peaceful ways through courage and through activity to make this a better place. And then you get a Donald Trump who gets elected president of the United States, who is elected on divisiveness and racism and white nationalism, who says there were some very fine people who were carrying those tiki torches and shouting racist chants and marching in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I can go through a long list of evidence of Donald Trump's racism. And it makes me understand that, one, things have either gone in reverse, or two, we never progressed as far as I thought we had, and there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And in this year, 2018, as I look at my children, as I look at my grandchildren, I don't want them to have to fight those same battles and teach those same lessons that I did when I was coming up. And so that's why I lift my voice now, and I talked about the things that I believe need to be talked about in this country, and encourage other people to enlighten themselves and to have similar conversations, because as a nation, as a people, we cannot afford to allow racism and bigotry and hatred and divisiveness to tear us apart, to cloud us, and to, frankly, betray us. And I call racism in this country the big betrayer, because it has betrayed the American dream, if you will, more than anything else that I can think of. Good people who are black, who are white, who are Mexican, who are Latino, who are Asian, what have you, separate from each other, hating each other, avoiding each other, attacking each other because of the color of their skin. Are we still at that point in this country? And are we still electing people to the White House who promote that? Asshole countries. Don't you forget that. Don't forget he said that, and don't forget anything that he said. And by the way, he's a pathological liar too. All right, we're going to take a break, and then I got to get out of here. We have come to the end of this show for today. Miss Azure Chalk, you are a jewel to work with, and I cannot thank you enough. I know one of these big corporation companies going to swoop you up one day. Just don't forget me, all right? Okay, she said she won't. I got witnesses. She said she won't. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Is Big Brother Spud coming in today? Yeah, I'm going to get out of the way for Spud to come in and do his thing. In the meantime, let me say what I always say and mean it more each day. I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Much, much love, Miss Teresa. And I'm out of here, folks. Have a great one. This is 910 AM Superstation, the future of radio.